on behalf of Laura, Virgil, Henson, and family, we'd like to welcome you here today for the celebration of life for Rick Henson.
Please stand for a presentation of the colors.
Uniform personnel, present arms.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms.
It is my privilege to introduce to you a 30-year friend and colleague of Rick Henson, Fire Chief Chaplain Jay Donnelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're AMVETS Post 56 Honor Guard, Tulare, California. We're truly honored to be here today to render full military honors to your loved one and our fallen brother. In a moment, the rifles will fire a salute. Following the rifles, we will present the bugler will then play taps. When the bugle is ended, you may be seated. We will then fold and present the flag. Please prepare yourself for the rifles volley.
Present arms.
Order. On.
Please stand, only if you're ready. Please be seated.
3 spent rounds. Representing honor, duty, very powerful point of honor. An important point of honor. We celebrate Rick. We know that he is survived by his beautiful wife, Laura, brother-in-law, Chris, sisters Beverly and Ginger, his brother, Randy, and a whole host of friends up and down the state and around the world. The purpose of this gathering is to give honor to him and to give honor to the Lord. The book of Romans declares we're to give honor to whom honor is due. And if there was ever a person on this planet that could do honor, it's Rick. He's a good friend, a comrade. We've been in the smoke and the dirt and the current together. He's a great leader. And we're here to celebrate and embrace the attributes and characteristics of his life. That's how you give honor. We embrace what he brought to us, and we live it out in our own life. We just don't let it fall. And his legacy is powerful, but I want us to recognize something. History is what we do, but legacy is what we leave. And Rick did a lot of cool things. He was an amazing golfer, and he did wonderfully with that. He was a great traveler. There was a number of things. He was a great doggy lover. All of those were a part of his journey of history, but as well as his legacy. But his legacy really is led with compassion. He was a man of great compassion. He was a man that was an integrous leader. He would tell you the truth even when you didn't like it. But he also shared it with a sense of tenderness and compassion. Big old rascal with a big old head. A gentle giant. He was a man of integrity and passion for what he did. He didn't enjoy people who were slackers, and he would bring them into a place of understanding that slacker approach wasn't going to get it. And when he said something, many of you in this room have heard, I mean, he's a really cool, gentle voice and all that stuff, but when he got intense, it was all attention was garnered in a quick hurry, because that voice was powerful. Truthful. He loved life, and he loved his wife with all that he had, and a tremendous work ethic. As we reflect upon that life and we embrace that legacy, let each of us reflect upon that and live it out in our life, because if we do that, we will be better people, and we will honor him day after day after day. It's vitally important that we do that. That we just don't come and go, wow, that was awesome, but we really drink it in and desire to walk things out in a beautiful way. I believe he would also like us to learn from our mistakes in life, because he was a tremendous man of learning, and would always learn from people around him, as well as learn from things he didn't do so well. And he and I have talked about that over the years. It's a wonderful privilege we have to come together. And you'll have an opportunity later to share stories and laugh and cry together. Because I believe with all my heart that Rick would want that. For us to laugh and to cry together. To encourage one another. And to embrace his life and love. With that, I want to invite Laura to come. I want to share a little bit.
First off, I just want to tell everybody thank you for being here. I want to thank Larry and Darvis. Please stand. Steve Rose, Angela. If it wasn't for these guys, when I started this journey after Rick passed, I started off in San Diego because it was, usually wherever firefighters pass away, that's where you have the services. But I first contacted CAL FIRE in San Diego and told them that I was not going to be doing the services there. And so Chris Carrera in San Diego took the baton and handed it off to Angelo Prantini, who's been a friend of the family for a very, very long time. Larry Pendarvis has been at my beck and call for 10 weeks. The man has called me 3 to 4 times a week, and then we have Steve. And Steve, when Larry's not calling me, Steve was calling me, making sure everything was exactly the way I wanted it to happen today. And these 3 people made it happen for me. I made the decision to come home and do the services because this is home. We went to high school together here. Most of Rick's career in CAL FIRE was here. All of our friends are here. All of our families here. And it only made sense to come home. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. So, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for getting me here today and making this happen as such a great celebration of Rick. Thank you. All right, so I have written a couple of things since Rick passed away. One of them I can't bring myself to read, so Jay's going to do it for me. It's a little bit more emotional, more related to what Rick went through since his diagnosis on July the 24th of last year. So, Jay is going to be kind enough to read that for me. But I did write something else. And so I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to try to read it so you can understand me. Rick and I had our first date in February 1974. We were both 16 years old. We dated off and on for 12 years. Rick completed his stint in the Air Force and then came home and landed a job with the California Department of Forestry, which is now called CAL FIRE. Rick proposed to me on December the 24th, 1985, and we married on August the 9th, 1986. We were 28 years young. Early on, Rick and I decided that we didn't want to have children, which was the best decision that we could have ever made for the 2 of us, and we never looked back on that decision. So instead of children, we developed a common love for golden retrievers. This is an understatement. We really love Goldens, and in fact, every other dog that's been in our lives. We both loved our jobs. Rick a firefighter, me a registered nurse. We were both very ambitious from the onset. We made our path to success. I took Rick's lead and learned learned to love the world of golfing. We excitedly golfed at the best courses in the world. How much fun was that, and how lucky were we? Being dinks, D-I-N-K-S, dual income, no kids. We were able to travel where we wanted. We went to beautiful places, and I talked him into doing some crazy things. At the end of the day, he loved what I picked for him, and I did too. It makes me smile just thinking about all the fun times that Rick and I had. New Zealand, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Moria, Tahiti, Canada, the Caribbean, and yes, oh yes, Hawaii. We met the humpback whales in Maui, and we traveled a small part of the world to be with them. What a beautiful hobby that we shared. A 60-foot mammal that has a wingspan of 30 feet and a weight of 60,000 pounds. Yes, we swam together with them. It's just amazing what we did. We were adventurous to the 10th degree. I have hundreds of cheers pictures. Cheers meaning, you have drinks and you hit the glasses together. No matter what we did, we gave cheers to our happiness. Even if it was a simple breakfast, we gave cheers to those who were with us. Cheers were given all around the world while we traveled. Rick was so hilarious, so humorous, and such a jokester. I would laugh my butt off at the things that he would say and do. I miss that already. You have no idea how much I miss that in my life. Rick came from very little, but overcame that and became something big. He had a calling, and he gave it his all. Rick succeeded big time, and I am so proud of him. He was tenacious, and together we rocked our world. Rick was a loyal friend to so many and a brother to those who did not even share the same DNA. He was real, he was honest, he was generous, he was empathetic, he was thoughtful, and at times a pain in the asses of others. We are now on our 14th dog in our almost 39 years of marriage. Right now we have 6. Every one of them miss him, but particularly there are 3, Makoa, Kaylee, and Peanut, that I've had a difficult time with. I'm sorry. Dogs grieve too, and I watched it happen. Regarding Rick. The house is empty without him. There is a void that I cannot describe. My home is a very sad place right now, and I don't know how to overcome that void. Rick is missed deeply. It is gut-wrenching for me. I miss his dripping tea jug all over the refrigerator. I miss watching our murder shows together. I miss seeing him on the couch using that dang computer in the same old slot every day on the recliner. I miss watching the golf channel with him. I miss our everyday lunches at some of our favorite restaurants. I miss our dogs in the bed loving on both him and I. I miss our afternoon play with the dogs while Rick had his cigar. As much as I hate the smell of cigars, I really do miss that smell now. One of my favorite times of the day was our daily walks with our babies, Makoa, Kalia, Peanut, Pixie, Chicken Sally, and all the other dogs that we've had for almost over the 39 years. It was their favorite time as well. It was Rick and I's time to talk and get our day started. All as a family, just Rick and I and the dogs. I miss those walks with him. It is a lonely world, and I don't know how to navigate. Our love was real and deep. It was always just him and I with the dogs. We didn't have distractions because of children and the issues that go along with having kids. We never grew apart because of children and the problems that can cause in a marriage. It was just Rick and I and the dogs. Side by side, just Rick and I alone with the dogs. The best life ever. What is really hard is to take 39 years of pictures and condense it down to 250 so I can make this slideshow that you're going to get to see in a little bit. It took me days that literally equated to hundreds of hours to go through old photo albums and pictures on my computer. It was one of the most difficult things I've had to do emotionally. Going through them, but then trying to cut it down to 250 was very hard. I felt like I left such a big part of our life out, and I wanted to share it with everybody, but I can't do that, of course. This ugly journey started on July the 24th of 2024. What we thought was an unrelenting cough turned out to be an advanced stage of esophageal cancer. We were hoping to get maybe 4 to 5 years of time, but instead we got 7 months. That 7 months ended up being a horrific 7 months, and there was nothing that went right with the cancer treatment from the beginning. From the beginning, Rick was sick and he was miserable. The treatment ended up taking his life. The cancer did not. We wish we had not agreed to the treatment, but we were grasping up more time together. Sadly, that did not happen, and Rick is gone now. I've always been a strong person, but this has tested my ability to go forward with that trait right now. I thought that when I lost my brother Steve when he was 16 years old, that the worst had ever happened. I thought when I lost my brother Mike at 57, that was the worst thing that ever happened. But now I've had the worst ever loss in my life. My best friend and my husband, Rick.
Powerful, powerful. I'm going to do my best to share Laura's heart that she wrote down and fills in a few more details, but also has that level of compassion that's a part of this journey. As she shared in 1974, I'm going to be in her present and her tense, not mine. We had our first date, 16 years old. You went into the Air Force in 1977 to become a firefighter. We were married in August 9, 1986. I married the man of my dreams. You became my soulmate and my best friend. We were inseparable. This August would have been our 39th wedding anniversary. Our years together were a blast. It was amazing. We traveled the world and did unimaginable things together. We complemented each other. We really, really did. You were my safe place. We meshed and made our lives happy, fun, interesting, and exciting. July 24, 2024, our lives changed forever. They told us they could give you more time, but they didn't. Your time here abruptly came to an end. Little did we know that at the end, the cancer treatment would take you before the cancer would. Had we only had a looking glass to see that the decision to go through with the cancer treatment would be the worst decision ever. We could have taken those vacations and you had not had the treatment. But we didn't know. We let the doctors guide us. Unfortunately, that they guided us in the wrong direction. And here you are now, gone from this world and from my life forever. It's so unfair how you suffered so much since the beginning of this ugly journey. We had hopes and dreams that we would have more time together, but we didn't. Who would have known that our world would be turned upside down in such a short amount of time? What once was a beautiful life is now an unbearable sadness. Our beautiful home is empty, lonely, and depressing. We worked so hard for and now seem so meaningless. There will be no more vacations with you and no one like you to enjoy my time. How do the dogs and I go on without you? The answer, I absolutely have no idea. Our babies are sad and miss you so much. They are grieving also, as I do. I miss you, babe. My gut hurts. My heart breaks. I long for you to be beside me again. You are my favorite person, my best friend, and so much more. Until we meet again, my sweet husband, I will think of you 100 times each and every day. You are the man of my life, and I love and miss you so much. Your forever wife, Lord. A short snippet, I have a number of stories that would render the picture of Rick's life as accurate, but most of you know him well. But one in particular, a fire in San Diego, the Cedar Fire. Stephen Rucker from the Nevada Fire Department was killed in the line of duty. And Rick was assigned by the family, by the unit, to be the family liaison and to help coordinate the return of Rick to Nevada and coordinate C-130 to carry Stephen's casket back to Nevada. I was the chaplain and chief of employee support services for the department at the time, and Rick and I worked side by side, day in and day out. And I saw the depth of his compassion, the tenderness of his heart in a first-hand way, in a manner in which most on this earth would not see it. We were given the privilege, Kathy Rucker, Stephen's wife, desired to go to the site in which her husband died, which was shocking to Rick and I both. We were like, oh my word. Okay, so Rick arranged for a helicopter, and Rick and myself put Kathy in safety equipment, and we loaded her on the helicopter, and we flew to the site of of her husband's passing. It was the only word I can say about it. It was divine. I was holy in that moment that we were there standing with her in that place. She didn't ask questions. She just took it in. And Rick was so sensitive and tender. And it was kind of a funny story, but Kathy even said, it's like she's standing looking at her husband's location where he passed. And there was clearly evidence of that. And here's Rick, fall. Here's Jay, short. And she turned around and she was looking and she started chuckling. You guys cracked me up. You're kind of like the long and the short of this whole thing. You know, and in this most serious moment, I just needed to laugh. And you guys provided it. They just looked at me like, all right, there we go. And it was just a beautiful moment of helped her process this very devastating moment in her life. And he was so compassionate. I officiated the funeral in Novato, and Rick was right by my side. We were able to navigate that in a manner that gave honor to his family, to her family, and to the Novato Fire Department. It was a rough situation, but Rick handled it with such dignity, professionalism, compassion. I'll never forget it. And we worked side by side with Local 2881. I was the chaplain and he was a supervisory rep, and there were so many occasions that we would talk through and find the wisdom necessary to help situations. So I can say that I love that man, that he invested in my life as well. And when I was given the privilege to officiate this time of honor, I was very, very blessed and proud of him. I think it rings so powerful and true of who he was as a man. And, you know, he could have easily been very staunch about this very difficult situation, but he was so tender. So I think that's an important lesson for all of us to garner and to learn in that journey. Be willing to be compassionate and be willing to be sensitive to what anybody is going through at the time. And it will be a part of your legacy as well. With that, we will have the video presentation and enjoy and embrace Rick's life.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for memories. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how we feel so much, we cannot say a word. Though we are screaming inside, oh, we can't be heard. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for memories.
Stood there boldly, sweating in the sun. Felt like a million, felt like number one. height of summer, I'd never felt that strong, like a rock. I was 18, didn't have a care, working for peanuts, not a dime to spare. But I was leaning, solid everywhere, like a rock. My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firmly to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams. 20 years now, where'd they go? 20 years, I don't know. I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone.
Was nice, the party was pumping. Hey, yeah. And everybody having a ball. Until the fellas started name calling. And the girls respond to the call. I hear a woman shout out, who let the dogs out? 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 I see the dance people had a ball, cause Billy Fountains get out. Get back, Gruffy, bash Gruffy, get back, you flea infested mongrel. Gonna tell myself I'm man, no get angry. Hey, yeah. 280 cows calling them K9. Hey, but they tell me, hey man, it's part of the party. You put a woman in front and a man behind. I heard a woman shout out, who let the dogs out? 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 Say, a doggy is nothing if he don't have a bone. Oh, doggy, hold your bone. Oh, doggy, hold it. A doggy is nothing if he don't have a bone. Oh, doggy, hold your bone. Oh, doggy, hold it. coffee. Get back, you flea-infested mongrel.
Well, if I am a dog, the party is on. I gotta get my groove on, 'cause my mind I'm gone. Do you see the rays coming from my eye? Walking through the prison, Digimon is breaking them down. Me and my white talk, short, dealing, gassy color. Any caliber do, I think I knew that's why they call me Pitbull. 'Cause I'm the man of the land, with it to me to do.
What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. What a change you have made in my heart. What a change you have made in my heart. You replaced all the broken parts. Oh, what a change you have made in my heart. Love to me was just a word in a song that had been way overused. But now I've joined in the singing, 'cause you've shown me love's true meaning. That's why I want to spread the news. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. Listen to me. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made, yeah. What a difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made. Go ahead and sing it. Yeah.
above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
I'm so afraid to love you, more afraid to lose, clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Once there was a darkness, a deep and endless night. You gave me everything you had, all you gave me life. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life passing by. Weep not for memories. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life passing by.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms, let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. Come, let me love you, come love me again. You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew were all the years I had with you. And I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. You taught me how to laugh, what it's up. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew from watching you. Nobody else could ever know the part of me that can't let go. And I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once again.
Firefighter's prayer. When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert to hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to feel my calling and give the best in me to guard my neighbor and protect his property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, bless with your protecting hand my loving family from strife.
With the many achievements that Chief Henson received, I'd like to read you one that was presented by the National Emergency Medical Committee. The United States of Mexico has the pleasure of presenting the Humanitarian Award to the unsung heroes of the national community, to Rick Henson, Unit Chief of CAL FIRE. This day we honor those who served during the October fires of 2007. Some say, none of us imagined this can happen to us. Many lost their homes and everything they owned. Others lost their life. We want to thank the firefighters, the doctors, nurses, social workers, the law enforcement officers, the volunteers, the federal, state, and local government agencies, and the local citizens who are there to give a helping hand to the survivors. We thank you and their names. This was presented March 26, 2008.
It's a privilege to be able to read the State Assembly Resolution number 1913. whereas the men and women who devote their time and energy to the duties of fire prevention, fire suppression, have assumed responsibilities essential for the safety of their fellow citizens, and whereas Deputy Chief Rick Henson, badge number 1708, has unselfishly served the people of the state of California with great dedication and distinction throughout his 27-year career with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. And upon the occasion of his retirement, he is deserving of special recognition and the highest commendations. And whereas following his graduation from Dyneema High School in 1976, Chief Rick Henson began his career with CAL FIRE as a seasonal firefighter in the Tulare unit. The following year, he joined the United States Air Force and proudly served his country as a firefighter and earned an honorable discharge in 1981 with the rank of Staff Sergeant. And whereas in June 1982, Chief Henson returned to CAL FIRE and continued his dedicated service as a fire apparatus engineer, and over the years he was promoted through the ranks, attaining the rank of Deputy Chief in the San Diego unit, the position from which he retired July 1, 2008. And whereas throughout his distinguished career, Chief Henson's service touched many areas of California, beginning with the Tulare unit, where he served as fire apparatus engineer and fire captain from 1983 through 1998, when he promoted to battalion chief in the Santa Clara unit. And in 2000, he assumed the responsibilities of division chief in the San Diego unit, promoted to deputy chief in 2006, and in April 2007 was asked to serve as the acting unit chief, a position he filled until May 2008. And whereas over the course of his career, Chief Henson has been a member of and filled many positions on CAL FIRE incident command teams, including his service as an order manager, supply unit leader, logistics section chief, operations section chief, deputy incident commander, and in 2003 he was appointed incident commander, CAL FIRE teammate, and led that team on 12 major incidents in 8 California counties through 2007. And whereas Chief Henson has the distinction as the first and only CAL FIRE commander to lead over 50 CAL FIRE firefighters nearly 200 miles south of the border in the Baja, Mexico, to assist the bomberos with a wildfire in the San Pedro Matir National Park. And he was also the first commander to use the DC-10 supertanker on a fire incident, and to use the Predator unmanned aircraft for surveillance on a fire. And whereas as a member of CDF firefighters, Chief Henson performed the duties of various offices with exceptional skill and efficiency. He was first elected CDF firefighters as an alternate chapter director here in Tulare from 1989 to 1990, and chapter director from 1990 to 1992. And whereas during the period of 1992 to 1998, Chief Henson served 2 years as the Region 4 alternate director and 4 years as the Region 4 director. And he was appointed to supervisor rep for the Santa Clara unit in 1999, selected to fill the state supervisor rep position on the state board in 2003, a position he held until 2008. And whereas as an avid golfer, Chief Henson is said to be able to defeat Aaron Reed and Terry McHale using only 3 clubs. For context, that's the lobbyists for our labor union. Whereas this dedicated public servant epitomizes the true character of the brave men and women who devote their careers to the perilous duties of the fire service. And over his 27-year career, Chief Rick Henson upheld the highest ideals of professionalism in his field. He is known in his department as a moral compass and an exemplary model of honesty and integrity. Now, therefore be it resolved by Assembly Member George A. Placido that Deputy Fire Chief Rick Henson of the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection be honored on this occasion of his well-earned retirement, commended for his superior record of dedicated and highly effective professional public service, and extended the sincere gratitude and the appreciation of the public. This resolution dated 8th July 2009.
The firefighter's last alarm. The men and women of today's fire service are confronted with more dangerous work environment than ever before. We are forced to continually change our strategies and tactics to accomplish our tasks. Our methods may have changed, but our goals remain the same as they were in the past, to save lives and protect property. Sometimes this is done at a terrible cost. However, this is what we do. This is our chosen profession. This is the tradition of the firefighter. The fire service of today is ever changing, but it's steeped in traditions over 200 years old. One such tradition is the sounding of a bell. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's shift. Through the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned these brave souls to fight fires and place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow citizens. When the fire was out and all the tasks had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled to all the completion of that alarm. When a firefighter died in the line of duty, paying the supreme sacrifice, it was the mournful toll of the bell that tearfully announced the passing of a fellow firefighter. We utilize these traditions as symbols which reflect honor and respect for those who have given so much and who have served so well. To symbolize the devotion that these brave souls had for their duty, a special signal of 3 rings, 3 times each, represents the end of the firefighter's duties, and that they will be returning to quarters. Finally, to Rick, who has devotedly given his life for the good of his fellow citizens, his task complete, his duties well done. To retired Unit Chief Rick Henson, his last alarm, he is going home.
Please join me in benediction. Lord, your word is declared that it is in your heart to bring us comfort. You declared from the book of Matthew to Come unto me, all you who are heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest. So we ask, Lord, as we conclude our time of this celebration formally, Lord, we ask you to give us comfort, to give us rest, to heal our broken heart. We ask, Lord, that we would experience a supernatural touch of your grace and mercy. And I declare a blessing over this family, and you would continue to guide them and direct them in the days ahead. We thank you for all that have come, and we ask for your blessing upon them as well. In the Lord's name, amen.
Thank you, Captain J. Donnelly, for your service today. At this time, Laura would like to remind everyone that we're going to have a meal after within the next 5 minutes, probably. But if you did not sign the registration book out front, she would love you to do that. It was out on this table on the side. We want to just take time to thank all those that came and participated today in the celebration for Rick on behalf of the Memorial family. And we are going to have time to share some thoughts and some memories of what impact Rick had on your life just right after the meal. So stick around. Remember that I will come around on the microphone if you're not accustomed to coming in front of a podium. So at this point, the bar is open. And the bar is open. So thank you for coming today. And again, thank you for all. And Captain Jay, can you pray for our meal today?
As we come together and we share a meal of celebration, we thank you for blessing the food in our body and blessing our conversation. And may you spur encouraging words and great laughter and joy as we talk and share during our time of celebration. And we ask for your blessing upon the meal. In the Lord's name, amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mitchell Pondo, and Rick and I, first I got to say, really, that video, after it was, during the video, I just missed his laughter. I just wanted to hear him laugh, you know? I mean, this was those days of when we would just be in the golf cart and going, commercially. Anyway, again, my name is Mitchell Pondo, and Rick and I was on his instant command teammate. I'm just going to read this because it's very, it's very difficult. So, Rick was the instant commander of CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 8. Back then, CAL FIRE had 10 incident management teams, 5 in the south and 5 in the north. And there was a Mason-Dixon line there somewhere around Monterey or so. Nobody would go in the north, the south wouldn't go in the north, the north wouldn't come in the south. We had some turf wars back in those days. I was fortunate and blessed to be his liaison officer. In this stressful environment is where I saw Rick shine. It was his leadership that caused Team 8 to be so successful. It was his ability to get the best out of all of his members that were on Team 8. He knew when to encourage and when to light a fire underneath us when we weren't hitting on all 8 cylinders. He always remembered who his boss was. Not the chain of command, not the politicians, and certainly not the operations section chief. Got any operations chiefs in here? Because they're like paramedics. Anyway, the boss was the good citizens of California. The good citizens of California, they were the boss. He always remembered that in the fire service, we are public servants. And because of that, he always did the right thing. Always, no matter what the circumstances were, in his professional life and in his personal life. It is said that more things are caught than taught. And because of him, we all became a better firefighter and a better person. Of course, you cannot talk about Rick without talking about the love of his life, Laura. Much like there was Mickey and Minnie, Lucy and Ricky, Rocky and Adrian, there's Rick and Laura. How they supported one another is an inspiration, as Laura is still an inspiration. They would go on long walks together, like for 3 days. 20 miles a day, that is extremely difficult. They enjoyed whale watching, golfing, and golden retrievers. Honestly, I have a whole bunch of stories to tell about that. We have been through so much. They supported one another, encouraged one another, and shared the ups and downs that life brings. I'm so sorry, Laura, for your great loss, and I hope the wonderful memories of the life you and Rick had together and the love you shared bring you comfort. As I said, I was Rick's liaison officer in the Henson command team, and he asked me to be on his team, and I don't know what he saw in me when he asked me if I'd like to be a member of his team, but I am certainly grateful he did, because working with him was one of the greatest highlights of my career. I will miss my dear friend and mentor, but I don't grieve as just one who has no hope, as one who has no hope. Rick knew the Lord Jesus, and as a result, I know we will see him again. May the Lord bless you and comfort you all. Rick was a consummate leader and colleague, a man's man. He always did what was right, no matter what the situation was. He is the reason why the phrase is coined, truly only the good die young, because he was much too young. Rick will be sorely missed.
This together, and I'm just going to share a story which is really hella funny. He was covering Station 22 up in Springville, and so they get a call for a thing that's down. And when we get there, this lady is down 600 pounds. And he goes, "What up, dude?" I said, "I don't know, what up, dude?" So I get there, and she's stuck between the toilet and the wall. I said, "So I don't, what do you think?" And Rick goes, I said, can we cut a hole in the roof with this mobile home and get truck 25 out here to lift her up?" And he started busting up laughing. He goes, that might work. I think it's going to get mad about that. But the thing I really remember most about Rick was how he was, when it was time to have fun, we had fun. When it was time to do work, we did work. So, I mean, and I've sat there and watched him just move up the ladder, just go from Cal Fire to this, to that, to that, to that, to that. And we would sit there while he was smoking his cigar, which my sister apparently doesn't like the smell of. When we sit down at his porch and we talk about the old days, because I knew Rick since I was probably like 11, when he started dating my sister. And he was just a 100% well-rounded person. There was nothing, I can't think of anything that he ever did that was bad. So I'm glad everybody showed up to hang out and spend their time remembering him. Because I was there at the hospital with him and we had a very good time. The nurse came in and she goes, "Oh damn, a paramedic and a fire chief." Yeah. But I'm going to miss him a lot. we had a lot of time to talk, and he made me make some promises while he was in the hospital, which Lord knows, if you know my sister, those are going to be hard to keep. But I'll do my best. So there we go.
And Rick, Rick was just always in charge, and I just loved him because I didn't know him as a worker. I knew him as a friend, and we played and we had fun, and we went on trips. We went to Tijuana. That was good fun. But thank goodness we were both large people, and nobody gave us too much trouble. But he was just, through their generosity, we were able to see the whales with you guys, and be able to enjoy some things that I didn't realize how much stuff you guys did, and to be included in just a little part of that was wonderful. So, thank you.
The vacation together. Laura, I know you're going to, or LPH, I know you're going to remember this. We were supposed to be flying into Mazatlan, and somehow we had to land in this godforsaken airport. We didn't know where we were. It was pitch black, it's way late. Where? Culiacan. There you go. We were given two choices. Either we waited, we had to stay overnight, and take the next flight out the following day, or they would have a bus, so to speak, and we did that. They took back seat out of a van, right? There was no bus. Nobody spoke English. You've got the, what are the guys, the law enforcement called there? Federalists. You have all these federalists standing around with their rifles and everything. This was a scary situation, so they said, oh, no problem. They loaded us up. Nobody knew where we were going. We made Rick sit up front with our driver, who every time he kind of turned a corner, like all of us turned that corner, going from side to side, and every now and then he took a big milk jug that was supposedly water in it. We don't think it was. And he just gobbled it. We really feel like this guy was drunk. And he had to pee on the side of the road, and we all thought, that's it, we're dead. Somebody's going to come and, attack this man or whatever. No, he really did not pee. But poor Rick, we were all in the back seat, halfway asleep, halfway not. But he had to be our savior, and he was. And obviously, we got to our destination just fine, and we just made up for everything else the next time. The man has always had our back. He's always been this tough teddy bear on the outside, but boy was he soft and tender on the inside. He took his time with my husband, who really wanted to snorkel, but was afraid to do so. Why? Oh, he's telling this story. Because he had a bad scare when he was younger, a drowning incident. So Rick and Laura both actually, in Hawaii, took Dan out, and because Danny trusted Rick so much, got him to start snorkeling, and the rest of the time, Laura took him under his wing. And in the pool, we kept practicing and practicing. You know what? This man snorkeled by himself because of those two friends. So we love you both. We're very sad that this is the occasion that it is, but we are very, very honored to be here and participate.
I'm Jimmy Martis. I met Rick about 20 years ago, shortly after he moved to San Diego, and like all of you, what a wonderful guy. Always smiling, always happy, always cheerful. The day with Rick was unbelievable. My whole relationship with him was over golf, and not because I was good. He was really good. I was really not very good. And we got paired up a couple of times, and he always asked me why I didn't play every weekend with them. And I said, well, because people of your level won't play with people of my level, right? I mean, he shoots in the 70s, I hit well over 100. I'll lose 20 balls in a round, he won't lose any, he'll finish with the same ball. But he taught me so much invited me to so many things, and there's so many things in common. My wife golfs, his wife golfs, so we started this group. I mean, I was invited into that group. He said one day, after a round, he said, hey, why don't you golf every weekend with us? And I said, well, because you won't golf them. And he goes, I'm the one that makes the tee time. And so from then on, I was part of that foursome. And that foursome would soon kind of dwindle. New people would come in, new people would go out, and everything else. But Rick and I always played. And then, like I said, both our wives golf, and we started playing Saturdays and Sundays. And what a dream come true, because I was passionate about golf, and Rick was passionate about golf. And I played over 300 rounds with him, and probably another 100 with our wives together. What a wonderful, generous individual, always smiling, always happy. And I'll tell you one story. We're down in Myrtle Beach. We did a Myrtle Beach guys trip once a year. And as you know, there's alligators all over there, but not so much here. And we're playing the course and having a good time. And Laura always tested this. She goes, you two are idiots when you're together. And I said, I know, and we both do that, right? But I only knew them in golf. And so I said, hey, they had some smaller alligators too. And I said, I'm gonna grab that alligator and swing it around and chuck it back in the water. I said, you get the picture. And he said, okay, okay. And he's standing there, and it's a little alligator. But I grabbed the back of that alligator, and that alligator swung around so fast, I had to let it go. And I let it go right towards Rick. And that thing ran towards Rick. The camera goes flying, Rick's running the other way. Alligator's scared of both of us. Alligator's running back in the water and everything else. And I look at him, and I'm shaking because it scares me too. And I said, Rick, did you get the picture? He goes, oh God, no, I was laughing so hard, do it again. And I said, I couldn't do it again. But just to say what everybody else said, and I know Mitch has played, I played with Mitch, and he knows how bad I am at golf. But had a wonderful time, and every day with Rick, whether we went to concerts together with Rick and his wife, we went to Hawaii together, we went on Palm Springs trips together, we did a lot of wonderful things, and every day with Rick, like he said, was a smile, was a joyous, was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. And I'm blessed to have known him, and a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
He's such a loving person, and his heart was just, to me, Rick was one of those guys that just carried a heart of gold inside of him. There wasn't a time when you would be near him where you didn't feel his love. And that's what mostly stood out for me. And we graduated in 1976. It was a very good year, right, girls? Good year. And we went to school together. I go back knowing Rick from Grandview School, which was a very small country school. We were raised in a small town, not even a town. You couldn't call it a town because it was a village, and it only had 2.5 streets. And one memory that I have with Rick as a child was when we would play hide and go seek in the whole village. All the kids would get together, and some of us, we were 5th, 6th grade at that time, and we would run the whole town. And Rick was not a good hider because he was so tall. He always stood out, and he thought, and the funny thing was that he thought he was hiding in the best spot. And we would always spot him. Hey, there's Rick, and of course, he would get caught. But he was such a good sport. And so many memories. and just growing with him as children, learning good manners and putting our manners to practice that our parents would instill in us was another thing. And we were a bunch of good kids, and Rick really stood out and made sure that what his mom taught was put to practice. He was honest, he was loyal as a child, and he just carried, he would instill that in others as well. And that's one thing that I always remember, and I will always carry with me, that I knew that Rick was a very trustworthy, a very loving, and a person that you know he would give, and he would do whatever he had to, or whatever he had to help you. And he would do it with a good heart. So for us, we're crushed, but we're happy that we have Laura. And Laura, we're here for you. We will always be here for you. I would always tell him, Ricky, we know him as Ricky Henson. And whenever I would run into him, I would say, Ricky, I love you forever. I love you. And he would say, oh yeah, okay, you'll love me forever, right? And it was the thing that we had. And I would say the same. There's just, you might not see, he was the type of person too that you would not see him every day. You skip months, you'd skip maybe a year, but whenever you saw him, you got that hug, you got that love, and you knew that he cared. And you couldn't but love him. So that's one story. I want to tell you something funny though. Delft, at that time, had kids that were entering into their 15 years, and if any of you know the Hispanic tradition of the girls celebrating their quinceañeras, heard the word quinceañera? Okay. Well, yeah, he's a good, he would stand in quinceañeras for other, for the celebration of whoever was having a quinceañera. And he was Rick. And, Rick. But the funny thing was that he thought anyone who turned 15 could have a quinceañera. And he comes up to me, and he comes up to Nancy Salinas at the time and said, and Rhonda was friends with Nancy. I was Nancy's neighbor. He came over seriously to ask me if I would help him get his quinceañera. and we said, you really want a quinceañera? Yeah, I love those parties, So that's one thing that would always make us laugh, Rick and his quinceañera. So he would have been the first quinceañero.
So, first of all, great memorial. I got a lot of stories too that I shared with Rick. I can't believe I've known the guy for 25 plus years. Played a lot of, Oh, that's right, let me introduce myself. My name is Vincent Polseno. I am Kelly's husband, very good friend, best friend of Laura. And we shared a lot of things. We played golf. I too played, I couldn't believe how much golf I played with Rick. And yeah, he did claim he played in the 70s. I said in the 70s too, but I said anything over 70 degrees I don't play. So that's a golf joke. We shared cigars. I like cigars. And when I think of Rick, I think of a couple words: brave and stoic. He had a lot of stoicism, but he liked good slapstick humor. So we would laugh just endlessly at stupid things we see on TV if we were just hanging out. But I got a couple of stories. 2 stories that span 25 years. Actually, when I met Laura and Rick at the beginning, and towards the last year. And if you saw from the videos, they like water. So my stories both involve water. So the first one started when I met Kelly, and we came out here to visit, and Rick and Laura had a boat, and we saw that lovely picture of Rick doing rooster tail. So they said, hey, let's have Vin try jet skiing, or not jet skiing, water skiing. And since he's new, and he's from the East, by the way, I'm from the East Coast, from New Jersey, if you haven't noticed my accent. So he says, well, let's have Vin. And, you know, I'm not good enough to do a single ski, so they put me on 2 skis. So I said, sure, why not? It's on water, how far can I fall? Water is soft, right? So they put me on the, you know, they did it, then we got back to the pier, the deck, whatever it is that you call it. So I'm sitting there, I have my vest on, I want you to get a full visual of this. And I sit down, I have both skis on, and there was a word you had to give the captain, or the driver of the boat, to go. And I said, you know, let's take it slow, because I have never been on skis. He said, no, you don't want to do skis, you know, you don't want to do it quick, you want to go quick. So what was the word, Laura, that you had to say? Hit it. Hit it. I should have known then to take the skis off and get back in the boat like a passenger. Hit it. And I said, okay, hit it, Rick, hit it. So he did, and he hit it. It's like he went from 0 to 50 in about 3 seconds. Well, Vin did a split on the water only a gymnast could appreciate. The skis came off quickly, and that split was painful for 4 days. I went head first into the water. I said, want to try? Oh, I was in the water, obviously. And he says, you know, if you tip your skis up and you say hit it, I'll pull you out of the water. No way, no how, it didn't work. We gave it a couple of tries. I should have known then. I don't think we were married at the time, right? I should have run from Porterville, any kind of lake, motorsports, and certainly skis. The other one, which was on the video, involved water as well. We took a trip, by the way, parenthetically, Rick and Laura were always extremely gracious with their time, their friendship, and they invited us to Lake Tahoe a year ago or so, a year and a half ago. And we decided to do whitewater rafting. I said, okay. Now, obviously, the memory of water skiing had long faded. It was 25 years ago. So we said, sure, whitewater rafting. He goes, yeah, I know. I said, you're a vest, you're in a boat. So Rick, brave, I said brave, right? Rick and Laura were brave. So they asked when we were about to get on the boat, they gave us the instructional. When you have to give that much instruction on a casual trip, that should be a warning not to go forward. Then they also said the river is not that strong. It's not that it's pretty tame. I said okay. So they asked for volunteers to sit at the front of the boat. So Rick and Laura raised their hand. I said, I'm not sitting in front of the boat. I've never gone whitewater rafting. So Rick and Laura raised their hand and they sat. So I'm thinking to myself, the biggest guy in our group is going to sit at the front of the boat. But I said, let him do it. He's done this before, I'm not going to do it. And we're going down this lazy river, you know, rafting. Side note, we had an instructor on the boat. This was her first voyage on her own. So we're going down towards the end, and there is this one section that is... Huh? Oh, it's called Jaws. Again, all these signals, these come up, should be triggers. Jaws, okay. So we're going down Jaws, and you know, there was a saying, if you notice on one of the blankets that Rick has, they had a blanket made for this. That's how memorable it was. They said, when I tell you, the instructor on the boat, which leads the, by the way, the instructor, back of the boat. So she says, when I say get down, everybody needs to because you're sitting on the edge of the boat, right? The raft. And she says, when I say get down, you have to tuck in and tuck to the inside of the boat. I said, okay, I can do that. I can follow instructions. I'm in the back. How big can that be? So we're going down. It's about an hour and a half. They let us get out of the raft and walk around the shallow water. I said, this is great. Beautiful day. The sun is out. The water's great. We get to Jaws. They number the rapids. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forget what this was. I think it was 19. So Rick is at the front left. I am in the back. No, excuse me. He's front right. I am back left. And it was me, Rick, Laura, Kelly, and then this other gentleman with his grandson, nephew, I forget. It doesn't really matter. It was all a whirlwind. Anyway, we get to Jaws, and we're going through, and there's this dip that we're getting into. Now, the water's white now. It's no longer this serene, calm water. It's white. The instructor says, get down, get down, get down! Rick's trying to get down. Rick goes down and he went down the wrong way. He went down into the water. Fast forward, the boat flipped over. We all went into the water. I'm surprised you didn't put a picture of me. My feet were up in the air, and we all went down into the water.
You look like a duck.
I look like a duck. We're all bruised. We're going downriver, and they're all yanking us out of the water and bringing us into the boat. How they got Rick, this big, burly dude, into the boat was amazing, but they grabbed him by the shoulders, foot on the raft, and pulled him in one fell swoop. And that's what they did with all of us. We all got in, and the laughs that we had from that trip, I will never, ever forget. Rest in peace, bro. Cheers.
Rick was in my PE class all 4 years. And, I mean, he was a great guy, really friendly. I knew him from, PE. And at our high school reunion 40th, we talked about Tommy Bahama shirts. Because he loves Tommy Bahama. He asked, how many pairs do you have? Like 50? He goes, I gotta catch up to you. Anyway, Laura, thank you. Laura?
Laura.
LBH?
Laura.
That's all I know about Rick, but I'm so sorry. I went through his prostate cancer myself, and I'm fine, but I prayed for him every day. Thank you, love.
Rick, I sat next to him in the bus.
Shirley.
And I was one of the first people on the bus out in our little country area, and he was one of the last, and I loved that last stop. I would literally not get people sitting next to me because I was waiting for Rick. He didn't know it at the time, but I was. But I'm glad Laura got it.
You know the one, the white tight shorts?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Laura bought those.
When we were at our 40th class reunion, let me tell you, when they put on a Mexican cumbia song, he was out there dancing. This tall white dude, and they just, boy, he had the moves. And I also want to say that us girls, we are called the Lady Elves, older, wiser ladies. And we go on long trips once a year and several short trips throughout the year. We've done this for about 10, 12, 15 years. Sometimes we go to Laura's house. So when we go to Laura's house, Rick gets a hotel. Because he doesn't want to be around a bunch of us crazy ladies. But we're going to miss Rick so much.
And he would let Laura and then us go crazy. Fun times. And he was such a cool guy. We loved Rick so much. But we loved Laura more too. Because she's the same with Rick. She does get with us so much. But Rick more so than Laura. He will be greatly missed, and we love him. And he was a great sportsman. through the city playing baseball and through high school football. God, he looked good in the uniform. Gosh, and those shoulder pads and that, what they wear? Anyway, bless you, Rick. Love you, Laura.
Here's to my husband.
Yes.
Cheers. You have no idea how lucky Rick and I are to have so many friends. We're just lucky.
As we are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I was able to go to Rick and I say, hey Rick, you know where you're going next? He goes, yeah man, I know where I'm going. I said, then can we have this opportunity to pray for a transition for you from this world to the next? And he said, that was our prayer that we had with him, and we thank God for allowing him to be part of our lives and to make so many memories, and we thank God for the time they had here on earth, and we sent them on to the next place. But I want to take this time to thank everyone for coming today, for making this so special for Laura. And friends, we have memories that we're going to take with us, we'll always take with us. But just remember, life is short, and never as long as you think it can be. So love those that are around you, call those that you haven't talked to in a long time, touch base with those that you might be angry with, and realize that life is very short. No, tomorrow's not guaranteed.
A few people in this room that I have to have stand. Because as I said earlier, it was a rough 7 months before Rick passed away while he was going through treatment. And there were just things that I could not do at the house or logistically because I was so engulfed in making sure that the treatment that was being done for Rick, that I was on it, I was on top of it, I was catching mistakes. And so I needed help. And then when Rick had his surgery, his radical removal of his esophagus on December the 31st of 2024, even more friends became invaluable to me. I could not do what I needed to do while I was in the hospital, and I couldn't do 24-hour shifts. And I think most of you that know me know what I've done for a living. I'm a registered nurse, but I've been in the legal world since 1998. And I've seen a lot of ugliness happen. I've worked on a gazillion medical malpractice cases, so I absolutely have no trust with anybody taking care of my husband while he was in the hospital. And so I asked friends who offered to, I reached out to friends to help me cover 24-hour shifts at the hospital. I would do the day shift, get there at 7, leave in the evening at 4 or 5, depending on the day, making sure that, when all the docs are coming in and out and the majority of the care was, really being done, that I was there to talk to these doctors and this, that, and another. But I needed to go home and sleep. And I asked friends to take those PM and those night shifts for me so I could go home and rest. I also, as things got worse, I had lots of family and friends flying in and out from different airports around the US. I could not leave the hospital to pick these people up. So these friends of mine would go to the airport, pick up the people coming in and out, take them back to the airport when they needed to go back home. I just don't know what I would do without those people. So those of you that did that, I want you to stand. And I want you to be acknowledged, and I'm going to say what your name is, because you helped me get through a really bad time. Laura Haynes is already standing.
Sorry, I was going to bring you your drink.
And Jimmy, Diane, Dad, and Moore and her husband were supposed to be here. They both came down with some sort of GI thing yesterday, and I'm glad that they're not here because they don't feel good, and I want to sit. There's other people. Kelly, my nursing friend, my best friend in the whole life. Twice in just a month, I had her coming out when things went bad. And was there to help me. All of them were there to help me at the house when I got home on hospice. I'm sure, there's no doubt in my mind that this loss is nowhere as near sad as mine is, but Kelly's right there. We have been friends forever. We have done so much together, and I appreciate you for being my confidant, my go-to person from 1,000 miles away. But all of these people, you have no idea what they did for me. And Laura Gutierrez. You have absolutely no idea. Not only did she take this on to take care of this venue and make sure everything was perfect today inside these four walls, Laura was at my house for 2 months after Rick had surgery. She controlled my home. She took care of my 6 dogs. So the rest of us could be at the hospital taking care of Rick.
With precision.
I love her to death. I don't know what I would do without her. She has been my rock to hold down my house so I didn't have to worry about things. And then to take this on and to make it like she did today with the tables and the decorations and, you know, getting all the Dinuba girls on board. I mean, she could. Lisa wanted to come today, but I needed somebody to be at my house that was familiar with my dogs. Because I have 2 17-year-old dogs that I adopted after my brother died. And I had to, she wanted to be here, but I had to ask her to stay and take care of my house so I could come here and feel good about my dogs being there. So Lisa's at home in lieu of being here. We have the live stream going that was on Facebook, and I was informed that there were 40 people watching the live stream today. No doubt Lisa was one of them.
My God, you are the King of the Lord of Lords. There's no one greater than you. Father, today we celebrate a life that we're not going to ever forget, a life that can't be replaced, memories, Lord, that we have. But we ask now for the families and friends that came here, that they have a safe journey home, and that they be protected. We just want to thank you again for the Elks Lodge for opening this place up for Laura and all the help that we had. Thank you for all of the CAL FIRE employees and friends, and we just want to thank all those that were here today, and we just ask you to go in peace. In Jesus' name, amen.